Imagine this. You're one of 42 million Americans who depend on food stamps to feed your family. Then you're told that next month, those benefits might just disappear. As the federal government grinds to a halt in a shutdown, contingency funds are stretched thin. Courts are forced to intervene, and millions of people are left waiting and wondering. Tonight, we're unpacking how this crisis unfolded, who's behind it, and what happens next. The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, is the largest food aid initiative in the United States, supporting low-income families, children, and seniors. It helps 1 in every 8 Americans put food on the table. But in 2025, amidst a bitter federal funding stalemate, the program reached its breaking point. With the government shut down since October 1st, its regular funding stream was cut off. Without immediate legislative action, the entire program faced a complete freeze. As the crisis deepened, the USDA informed federal courts it would tap a contingency fund of about $5 to $6 billion to keep benefits flowing, but it wasn't enough. On November 3rd, the administration announced it could only cover half of November's SNAP benefits. That meant countless households were suddenly facing a 50% cut to their food budget, unless something changed, and fast. That's when the courts stepped in. 2 federal judges ruled that freezing benefits would be unlawful, ordering the administration to use its contingency reserves to ensure full payments were made. A judge in Rhode Island was explicit, directing the government to fully fund SNAP by November 7th. The fight was no longer just about politics. It had become a fight for survival. In states like Georgia, thousands caught in the bureaucratic limbo breathed a collective sigh of relief when a federal judge ordered full payments for November. Families who had been bracing for an unprecedented disruption were thrown a lifeline. But the relief was only temporary, and the underlying uncertainty remains. And the stakes could not be higher. About 45% of all SNAP households include children. Another 44% include someone with a disability. For these families, cuts or delays mean more than just skipping a few meals. They can lead to hunger, serious health crises, and damaging economic ripple effects that are felt throughout entire communities. This crisis isn't just humanitarian, it's deeply political. For the administration, the decision to delay or reduce payments became a major flashpoint. Democratic governors declared states of emergency as lawsuits began to pile up. The blame game intensified, with Republicans pointing to the funding gap, while Democrats argued that families should not be made to suffer, while politicians played games in Washington. So, what's the path forward from here? First, Congress needs to approve full funding to prevent more cuts. Second, that contingency fund can only stretch so far. Future months are still at risk if the shutdown persists. And third, long-term reforms are now on the table, including debates over expanded work requirements and shifting more funding control to the state's policy, battles that could reshape SNAP for years to come. This isn't just a domestic story. In a world where food security is already a major global concern, a crisis in America's primary food aid program sends a powerful message. It raises tough questions about how the world's wealthiest nation addresses hunger at home, even as it helps feed others abroad. The truth is, hunger knows no borders, and the global ramifications are real. The SNAP crisis is a test of our social safety nets, our political will, and our national priorities. We'll keep watching as this story develops and as millions of families brace for what comes next. For more in-depth coverage of the policies and stories that truly matter, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.